Imagine that you could go to sleep, and your sleep quality was so high that when you woke up, it was like returning from a deep dream. You've been in a wonderful world, and now you're back, ready to take over your day. You slept so well that even when you needed to sleep less than usual, you're not tired. You're energetic, productive. The amount of sleep doesn't affect you as much as it used to. And during the day, you notice that your mood is great. Problems, stress, unexpected events don't affect you so much. All those things are possible for you, but you need to know how to achieve that. Unless you are very proactive about your sleep quality, chances are you don't enjoy the deep sleep that you really want and deserve. You really deserve this, because you are different. You understand, unlike the 95% of the population, that sleep quality is a key to better mood, better focus, being more productive, and saving time. You save time because you're not as dependent on extra hour or two of sleep every day. If that sounds like you should know that you and I are the same. Through my 20s, I've been battling with poor sleep quality all the time. I also knew that sleep quality affects my health as well. Because what happens is during the day, our bodies accumulate damage. And at night, the body activates its inner mechanic. So I knew that poor quality of sleep means less repair during the night and future bad health, meaning to live shorter lives. What to do? Today, you'll learn the exact steps on how to improve your sleep quality, creating deep sleep overnight. From the current metabolic research and from my own experimentations, and from my struggling with my own sleep and trying to improve that, I found 4 lessons I didn't expect. You'll discover them today, including one activity when tested on 4,000 people reduced their sleep quality by 39%. And you probably are doing it today. Let's start. Welcome to the Wellness Messiah podcast. I'm your host, Rimon. Thank you all for joining us as we now add the guide to improve your sleep quality to the list of the step-by-steps guide we already fully covered in our wellness series. As always, I plan to cover every aspect of well-being, healthy lifestyle, and healthy habits from A to Z. So if you enjoy this video and find it informative, please consider subscribing to the Wellness Messiah here on YouTube, if you haven't done so already. By the end of today's video, you'll have the 7 steps you need to improve your sleep quality, and you can do all of them tonight. But first, please tell me if this sounds familiar to you. Throughout my entire 20s, I've been battling with poor sleep quality, dragging myself out of bed, thinking that I lacked motivation when really I slept really poorly. I know what it feels like to think you've slept well, then after 2 hours you realize that you just can't concentrate, so you're constantly looking for the next distraction. At the end of the day, I felt frustrated because I accomplished nothing. It was so frustrating. I was disappointing in myself on so many levels, and it all started with sleeping badly, with having poor sleep quality. And today, I feel in control of my sleep quality. I know what to do if I want to sleep great and have amazing mood. And I also know exactly what I did to destroy my last night's sleep, because hey, I'm not perfect. And because of this knowledge, I always have the power to create habits of the highest quality of sleep, day in and day out, and to control my positive mood, my productivity, my energy, and my health, and to avoid tiredness and battling with lack of concentration. So what did I do to have the best sleep of my life? I took a pill, a magic pill. Not really. Combining metabolic research with painful self-experimentations, it started with discovering how the human body manufactures high quality of sleep. Manufacturing high quality sleep. This is the next section. And the first way your body manufactures high quality sleep is via hormones. There are 2 key hormones your body is using here to manufacture your sleep's quality. The first hormone is melatonin. You probably have heard of it. It's a common supplement. And we said that at night, your body activates the inner repair shop. And melatonin, it helps in that exact repair. And these studies show some of that. So for example, this study shows that melatonin helps in DNA repair damage. And this study shows that melatonin actually helps in wound repair. Melatonin accelerates the process of wound repair and full-thickness incisional wounds. So this hormone, it helps the body to repair itself at night. This is critical. And the second key hormone the body makes to manufacture high-quality sleep is growth hormone. Why would you need growth hormone at night if you stopped growing? The role of growth hormone at night is to stimulate the repair inside of the body by renewing new cells to replace the old ones. It's part of the repair process, removing the old and growing new cells. Growth hormone also gives your body access to use fat for energy. You see, the exact energy from fat is what your body is using for this repair, and it helps you to lose weight as well as it's using this energy in the fat stores. Both of these hormones, both of them are released in the first part of sleep. This is key. And what we eat or do not eat before bedtime affect those hormones. We'll touch this in a minute. Deep sleep. Deep sleep in the body is similar to a fast recharge of your phone. And most of it happens in, can you guess? The first part of sleep. Yes, exactly like with these two hormones we mentioned. Here lies the lesson. Lesson 1. Listen to this. The first part of sleep matters the most. Your body cares more about the first 2/3 of sleep than the last third of sleep for recharging and repair. These two really gives you the sleep quality. Then what does the body do in the last third of sleep? The last third of sleep is where most of the dreaming occurs. It's also called REM, rapid eye movement. And the longer you're sleeping, the more time out of your sleeping time your body spends dreaming. Obviously, you dream all night, but the more you progress towards the last part of sleep, the dreaming portion grows. But why do we dream? You see, there is a debate in the scientific community why exactly we dream, but I guess you want my take on this, so let me tell you that. My conclusion is that we dream for two main purposes. One is processing negative emotions. Those emotions we try to suppress and run away from our lives. Has it ever happened to you that something that made you worried or you were afraid of suddenly appeared in your dream? And when you woke up, you felt relaxed? Dreams help us deal with those feelings and keep us sane. The second reason we dream is processing information. Personally, I dream a lot about new information I learned yesterday, and I believe that during dream time, our brains really go over the material we learned. And this processing of information during dream time explain two things. One is why it's so important to go over the learning material again after a good night of sleep, and how it helps optimize memory. Everybody who understands memory is going to tell you when to go over the material the next day, the next morning. It's also explained why a full night of sleep is important during college, because you want to get this last part of sleep to help your brain go over the material, taking the hard work from you. Now, if you enjoyed this so far and you haven't subscribed yet, let me remind you, you can do it now. The first part, but not the last third of sleep, is the key for the super recharge. This super recharge is controlled by the system inside your body. It's called the autonomic system, the autonomic nervous system. Unfortunately, we can't control our sleep patterns when we are asleep. These patterns are controlled instead by a system called the autonomic nervous system. Think of the word autonomic as the word automatic system. From now on, I'm going to refer to this system the automatic system. This is why trying to sleep manually will make it more difficult to sleep. You'll only interfere with this automatic system. And this automatic system has its hand on the wheels of manufacturing high-quality sleep. We really need this system to be active and be active in the right way. How does the automatic system work? It has many subsystems divided under the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. I won't go further into this. What matters is that this system, the automatic system, works on allocation of energy and competition of energy. For example, digesting foods. You ate a meal, all the energy and the blood are now going to the digestive system. You can actually measure that and see that there is a massive blood flow to the digestive system. However, you have a limited amount of blood. And what happens if you suddenly saw something that made you scared? A tiger, lion, or your ex, and then you started sprinting. What happens in your body? All the blood and energy will be diverted from the digestive system to the sprinting muscles to help you avoid your threat. The blood and energy now can go either to the digestive system or the muscular system, but sprinting is on a higher priority for your body, so digestion is going to go down. You're not going to digest food as well while you sprint. An interesting fact, by the way, when we exercise, let's say when we run, we become thirsty, right? And our body, it needs more water. We sweat. However, we absorb less of water when drinking during exercise. Yeah, so this is exactly because the energy and the blood flow go to the muscles instead of the digestive system. In the same way, for high-quality sleep, you want your sleep system to be active. And you don't want it to compete with other systems. Especially, you don't want it to compete with the sleep's greatest arch rival. You know what it is? The digestive system. Digestion takes a lot of energy. That's why we become sleepy after a heavy meal. And the sleep system competes directly with this very energy-sucking digestive system. And eating before sleep means that instead of using the energy to recharge and manufacture high-quality sleep, you'll spend a lot of this energy on digesting food. Lesson number 2. Eating before bedtime is like having a slow recharge to your phone. It's even worse than that. Your sleep system is using the digestive organs at night for removing toxins. So all these organs that we used to digest foods, at night they become detox organs. They kind of change how they work. But if you eat, the liver, the gut, the pancreas will be used to digestion instead of removing toxins. And we already know we are bombarded with toxins in our environment all the time, right? And eating screws up the sleep hormone as well. So sugar and carbs, for example, we know they turn off the growth hormone activity. So the growth hormone doesn't work as well if you eat sugar and carbs before you go to sleep. And melatonin and eating sugar really don't go well together. Together they actually can lead to diabetes, to the progression of diabetes. So altogether, eating before sleep will reduce your sleeping quality. As you can see in this study, let me quote, "Relationship of evening meal with sleep quality in obese individuals." Let me quote, "Higher food intake in the evening period was positively correlated with sleep stage NRME1, arousal index, and was negatively correlated with sleep stage REM3 and sleep efficiency." So this means that eating near bedtime preventing deep sleep and created superficial sleep, which is a slow recharge. Then you wake up in the morning and you wonder why you don't feel as fresh as you expect to feel and you deserve to feel. What to eat and when. No need to remember all those steps. Everything you're going to get about the steps, you're going to receive in an organized steps at the end together. So don't worry about that. Ideally, it's best to avoid eating 3 hours before bedtime. And the worst foods to eat before bed are carbs and sugar. And by the way, corn is a carb. It's not a vegetable. And heavy protein. Red meat, for example, takes 6 hours to digest, which is your entire sleeping time. But what happens if you're hungry 3 hours before sleep? And we all know we are more impulsive before sleep and we want to enjoy some meals. So eat vegetables in this case. Why? The bacteria in the gut digest the vegetables, not your body. And the sleep system could work even when you eat vegetables. Also, vegetables are low in sugar and won't hurt the growth hormone at night or work with melatonin to create diabetes. And by the way, salt and lemon won't interfere in that process, so feel free to add salt and lemon to your salads, to your cut vegetables as well. My rule of thumb, carbs, fats, and protein up to 3 hours before bed. Vegetables up to 1 hour before bed. Drinks and your sleep system. This is the next section. We spoke about the automatic system that controls sleep. And there are 2 common drinks that affect the sleep system directly. They directly control and impact this sleep system. So we need to pay very good attention with those drinks. The one is coffee. Coffee is great for work, for concentration, for alertness. And caffeine, the active ingredient in coffee, stimulates the work system. You remember that we spoke about how one system turns on, the other turns off. So coffee turns on the work system, but turns off the sleep system. And caffeine also turns off the detox system. And remember, sleep is using the detox system in the body at night. And you don't want those toxins to stay in your body, and you don't want the detox system to be turned off. Caffeine stays in the blood for 6 hours, which means that 6 hours before you go to sleep, you want to drink only decaf coffee. Therefore, if you go to a coffee shop, right, if you find yourself in a coffee shop at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., or 10, always ask for decaf coffee. Black tea as well has a lot of caffeine. Black tea includes also Earl Grey and English breakfast tea. Instead of drinking those types of black tea 6 hours before sleep, instead you can drink decaf black tea or herbal tea. All the types of herbal tea. The second drink that affects your sleep system, you know what it is? Alcohol. Now, I thought that alcohol actually helps to fall asleep because we know its numbness effect. But I realized that it doesn't help with sleep quality when I first measured my heart rate, my pulse at night. When we reach deep sleep, the pulse is going down. Heartbeat is going down. Low pulse equals high quality of sleep. When I drank alcohol, especially over 1 glass, my heartbeat didn't go down. It means I didn't reach deep sleep during the night. And I also heard Dr. David Sinclair stating that the same thing happened to him when he measured alcohol, the effect on his heart rate. So I went to look it up in the research, and studies showed exact same thing. See what it is. Acute effect of alcohol intake on cardiovascular autonomic regulation during the first hours of sleep. So the autonomic regulation is another name to the automatic system, the sleep system I mentioned before. This is what they found in the study. Alcohol intake was dose-dependently associated with increased sympathetic regulation and decreased parasympathetic regulation. In other words, alcohol in the blood deactivates the sleep system. And surprisingly, alcohol is a stimulant. I did not expect that before I read the study, but to what degree it hurts the sleep quality? This is what they found. Drinking over 2 servings of alcohol per day for men and over 1 serving per day for women has been found to decrease sleep quality by 39%. 39% for just single drink in our diet. Such a dramatic impact on our sleep quality. So we still want to enjoy alcohol, and you wonder what's the best way to do this. So this is my alcohol rules for high sleep quality. And I don't tell you how much you should drink or not drink. It's your personal decision. Rule number 1, last drink 3 hours before sleep. Just like with food, just like with meals, give your body time to remove the alcohol from your system. Rule number 2, keeping to just 1 glass of alcohol will have minimal effect on sleep quality. Men can go a bit over that, 1.5 glasses, maybe 2 glasses. It's still gonna impact sleep quality slightly, but women definitely should not go over 1 glass. Men should not go over 2 glasses. Better to drink them 3 hours before sleep or more. And lastly, make conscious choice. Be aware of the impact on your sleep quality, so you can decide if the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th drink really worth it. It may be worth it, it depends how you feel, your mood, but at least make it a conscious choice. It's your call. We covered so far the autonomic sleep system, and there is another system that affects the sleep quality. Your body's internal clock. We're using clocks, watches. Why? To measure time in our everyday life. Now, why are we doing this? What's the purpose of time? To coordinate resources into specific activities. Let me repeat that. We use time to coordinate resources into specific activities. So when you meet with your friend at 1 p.m., it means that both of you allocate time, a resource, together to stay in a specific activity, the meeting. Time is really a tool for coordinating resource management. Your body, the human body, similarly has an internal clock. And this clock, too, helps the body coordinate activities in the best way possible. AKA, it's called the circadian rhythm. You might have known this term. One of those activities that are regulated by this internal clock is your sleep. Lesson number 2. Your body has an internal clock controlling your sleep quality. How does it work? It's similar to our 24-hour clocks. Also, the body works on the same daily rhythm, with one difference. You can reset to calibrate your clock with a button, right? Your body has a different reset. It's resetted in a different way. We don't have a button for it. So how does this reset work? Our body's clock is reset by 1. The sleep routine, 2. Physical activity, and 3. Light. Now we're going to go one by one to explore exactly the impact of those 3 on the reset and how we can use those 3 tools to reset the clock. We have to mention that this reset affects our energy levels as well as the quality of sleep. So when the body's clock is calibrated correctly, we have better energy in the day and we sleep deeper at night. The problem is that we do many things that mess up that clock. Being inconsistent with the sleep schedule, not having enough physical activity, not enough strong light exposure. I'm going to explain exactly what is strong light, and darkness deficiency. Let's fix that clock now. The first step is trying to go to bed at the same hours every day. And you can create a consistent sleeping schedule that includes 2 things we covered. The timing we mentioned about avoiding heavy meals and going too early to increase deep sleep. So altogether could work with that clock. And doing those 2 activities, especially going early to sleep, will also fix the clock. So consistent sleeping time is the first element of fixing this clock. The second element is physical activity. It also resets the clock. Physical activity raises your body's temperature, which signals the body it's time to wake up. When the temperature is going up, the entire body gets this message. Another thing, physical activity leads to a lower temperature at night, which improves sleep quality and intensity of sleep. Your sleep is more intense after doing exercise during the day. This is why in days of sufficient exercise, you might have noticed that you slept deeper than usual. Can you recollect a day that you had intense exercise, you had such a good night of sleep? The last tool for the internal clock's reset is light and darkness. How to use light and darkness to reset the internal clock. The different aspects of light affect our internal clock and sleep quality differently. The first aspect is the strength of light, often measured as lux or lumen. Strong light for 30 minutes a day helps reset the internal clock. This strong light is like an anchor for the internal clock. To give it confidence, it's really the time for being active. Why do I say 30 minutes are enough to reset and recalibrate the clock? According to the experiment of Don Pardee, who has a PhD on sleep, this is how you can anchor, meaning to reset the internal clock. I'm quoting, "We did an experiment where if you look at 6-hour period spent outdoors," and I'm saying in a strong sunlight, and you look at the total amount of anchoring effect, meaning the resetting effect of that amount of light outdoor had the anchoring on your circadian rhythm. Now, if you were to take every one of those 6 hours, what you would find that the first half hour, the first 30 minutes of light exposure creates about 80% of the anchoring effect. So you get to enjoy the anchoring effect for as little time as possible. Natural sunlight, for example, it's one of the best options for strong light. It's the strongest light we have and has the best spectrum, and additionally you get vitamin D. A happy light is another thing. For example, during the winter or maybe it's a rainy day and you don't have this ability to get strong light, so you can buy a happy light. It's an LED light that has a high lumen number. So we covered getting strong light. And you want to get strong light every day. It's just one of the aspects we mentioned. The other aspect is a darkness deficiency. We need to deal with that. How do we do that? But what is darkness deficiency? We don't think about darkness as something that we need, but we do. We do need it. There are too many good superheroes in the world, and we need more dark magic. Seriously, getting enough darkness every day is important because darkness affects the hormones that have a significant effect over our quality of sleep and health. And darkness influences the internal clock as well. Light is only half of the picture. We also need darkness. We want to sleep in a complete darkness. These are bad examples of how not to sleep. Sleeping in front of a TV that is on, turning on lights when getting to the toilets, for example, in the middle of the night, a partner getting in and out of the room and turning up the lights, and early sunrise, for example. So if you wake up at 9 and the sun rises at 6 and you get early light from the window, it's also going to take away from your darkness deficiency. Solutions. Sleep with a sleep mask. It solves 99% of the problems about darkness deficiency. The second thing is try to not turning up strong lights when you wake up in the middle of the night, maybe to the bathroom. And 3, if you need light, get a weak fluorescent light in your bathroom, or maybe a weak lamp in the area that you need access to. It's because fluorescent is very low on blue light. And blue light is really hot term right now, and many of the optometry shops now recommend you buy glasses with blue light blockers and things like that. So what's the deal with blue light? What's the deal with this term? You might have heard about the dangers of blue light. Maybe you noticed that your phone has a blue light off switch, or your tablet has a blue light turning off switch. What's the deal with it? Historically, humans would become tired as the darkness increases. Darkness begins with the sunset. When the sun sets, the blue light is the first one to be filtered. The red is the last one to be filtered. So the sunset is reddish. So the body knows that blue light is really the strongest signal of daylight as a result of this filtering. However, TV, laptops, tablets, and smartphones, screens, they all have LED bulbs. And these bulbs emit a lot of blue light. This is the spectrum of those LED. Can you see the spike on the blue light? And how the red light really doesn't have a lot of strong spectrum. What do we do with the blue light from those screens? Is it a cause for panic? Is it going to destroy humanity? One good option is putting a blue light blocking glasses 3 hours before sleep. It's going to protect you from all the blue light coming from all the screens. Personally, this is not what I do. Now, this is my personal choice. 1. Getting exposure to strong light during the day. It reduces the clock sensitivity to LED. 2. Using weaker warm lights in the evening with a dimmer, or including a warm LED. It's okay. So there is a type of LED that is called warm light LED, which has less of the spike I showed you. And 3, just put the blue light filter on your phone. And also reduce the brightness. You can use the brightness of your phone and the computer. As I said, there is the issue of both the lumen and also the spectrum, the blue light. So what you want to do is both reduce the lumen and also trying to avoid the blue light near sleep, in the 2-3 hours near sleep, especially in the last hour before sleep. And also remember, sleeping with an eye mask will block all blue light during sleeping time. Still, we do want to avoid blue light before sleep, hour, 2-3 hours maybe, but I'm just want to make you feel more relaxed knowing that sleeping mask is going to block all blue light during the sleeping time. And whatever you do, make sure that you don't worry excessively about blue light. And anxiety from blue light will probably be more arousing to your system than the blue light itself. Apply simple habits and just forget about it. Forget about the blue light. Just do some of the habits we mentioned. So far, we covered the sleep system and the internal clocks. These are 2 systems, but there is another important system that affects your sleep quality: the safety radar. This part of the puzzle was the most surprising thing I encountered in my research. So if you find it surprising too, let me know in the comments. I want to know that. We think of deep sleep as something that we need, that helps us protect our health. But high quality sleep, deep sleep, is really dangerous from an evolutionary perspective. You see, under deep sleep, we are unprotected and exposed. Therefore, your body will allow deep sleep only when a mechanism inside of your body is sure that you are safe. I call this mechanism the safety radar. What did this mechanism do? The safety radar, it's a detection mechanism that tries to gather information from the environment and determine, is the body safe or not? It's blind. It can't tell reality from a simulation. And it operates in the unconscious. It doesn't share its conclusion with you. And today you're safe. You don't have the neighboring tribes paying you a visit at 10 a.m. with stakes and stones. You live in a closed, protected house. But your blind radar still lives in the past. And if the radar doesn't feel safe, your sleep won't be deep. And it asks, is there a danger lurking when we sleep? Thus, if someone or something will attack you, you'll be ready to wake up quickly and react quickly. Yet every day we do things before we go to sleep that alert this safety radar. And it tells the safety radar it's not safe to reach deep sleep. Those activities prevent high quality sleep. And we need to stop doing them. Lesson number 4. Certain activities signal the radar it's unsafe to reach deep sleep. Now, let's cover them one by one. Watching fear-inducing content before going to sleep. Remember, the radar is blind, and it can't tell the reality from a simulation. These simulations, especially 1 hour before sleep, will prevent deep sleep. Horror movies, violent or fear-inducing programs, the news, violent video games, conversations on stressful topics. This is an anecdote from my life. A friend recommended I watch Breaking Bad, so I watch it every day before going to sleep. It was the only free time I had. As I progressed with the series, I noticed that my sleep got worse and worse. Does exposure to drug trafficking, violence, terminal illness, gunfights, communicates to the radar, this blind radar, that I'm safe to get into deep sleep? The news. A collection of the most horrible events in the world of 8 billion people, and a presentation of that information in the most fear-mongering way. They try to communicate to us that their fear-mongering protects us, but it signals to the radar the exact opposite. Don't watch the news before you go to sleep. And frankly, I would recommend not watching it at all. Personally, I made the decision to turn off the news programs completely. If I'm going to expose myself to horror and fear that has very little to do with reality, I might as well be watching those horror things for pure entertainment. I would prefer Breaking Bad. Luckily, though, simulation works both ways. For example, watching a comedy the hour before sleep reduces anxiety and signals the safety radar that you are indeed safe. This is what a clinical psychologist, Mark Hexter, has to say about this. Having worked for over a period of 20 years with those experiencing anxiety, I can conclude that among other factors, it is the repetitive, relational nature of programs such as Friend and Big Bang Theory that will be doing the trick. Anxiety is, in fact, the human mind's alarm system, indicating that something is wrong, and usually the result of pent-up and unprocessed feelings, he added. If they can't find a way of being expressed, the alarm system triggers. Can you refer that to the radar we spoke before? So, what he found that comedies such as Friends and the Big Bang Theory actually going to reduce anxiety. Work-related activities. Dealing with work or with firefighting just before sleep reduces sleep quality in a different way. It activates the stress system. You see, the stress system is part of this automatic system we mentioned before. It has nothing to do with the radar, but it does cause bad sleep quality. And it takes longer for the stress system to calm down and allows the sleep system to go up. So you really want to stop work activities 2 hours before sleep to induce deep sleep. So what do we do? Information and activities for the last hour, 1 hour before going to sleep. Watching comedy, sitcoms, Friends. Inspiration, fantasy, movies, books. House chores are great. They are tiring without stimulation. Okay, so far we cover information and activities before going to sleep. Now let's cover interruption during sleep that signal the safety radar that we are not safe. Flickering lights. If someone were to attack you while you were asleep, probably they would affect the lights and the shadows nearby. This is why our eyelids do not block the lights completely when we go to sleep. In our night vision, the rods on the both sides of the eye, of the retina, they are very sensitive to movement in the darkness. So when you close your eyes, you still expose yourself to light, but you also expose yourself to movement. Your body is aware of the movement around you. If you were the safety radar and you would notice flickering lights all day, all night long, would you feel safe to go into deep sleep? Don't sleep in front of the TV or any flickering light. It will reduce your sleep quality. Bed movements. Another potential interruption for the radar. Historically, humans used to sleep on surfaces that didn't move, like this dog. The only movement we experienced were the things that needed to wake up to and react. Just remember just how sensitive dogs are to ground movements. Strong ground movements cause dogs to panic. It's a sign of danger. Beds and shared beds are a new thing for us. And if you sleep with a partner on a bed where it shakes when the other moves, it doesn't signal safety to the radar. It will hurt deep sleep. So make sure your bed is quote-unquote safe and isn't movement sensitive. These could affect shakeability, quote-unquote, right, of a shared bed. The bed size, if you sleep too close to the partner. Bed stability, if it moves, if it's not very stable, the structure of the bed. And the type of mattress, whether it has the ability to block movements from other areas in the bed. Please note that the presence of a loving partner in bed will increase the feeling of safety and protection. We only talk about shakiness. That's for the safety radar. We cover so far 3 systems that affect sleep quality: the automatic system, the internal clock, and the safety radar. There is a last topic to touch about sleep quality: air and breathing. As you know, even when you sleep, your body continues to breathe, and breathing is not that simple. Breathing is an effortful process. It's a filtration where the body sucks in air, filter it, and blow it out. And we all know that, for example, a vacuum cleaner takes a lot of electricity. So as breathing takes pretty much a lot of energy from the body. Fresh air should have 21% oxygen, and after breathing it, the body filters it and blows out 4% CO2 and dust. This filtration activity engages multiple organs: the nose, lungs, and diaphragm. Our goal is to make sure that this activity is easy as possible, so the body could stay relaxed in deep sleep. What's standing in your body's way? Several things. The first is unventilated rooms. If your room was closed all day and you didn't introduce fresh air, it could hurt the sleep quality. Dust. If you have a lot of dust in the room, the body now needs to filter that too. Breathing is therefore more effortful, so dust in the room, in the bedroom, could indeed hurt your sleep quality. Sleeping position that obstructs air. Sleeping on your face, for example, blocks the airway of the nose and the mouth and puts also heavy weight, your entire body, on your lungs and diaphragm. Remember that your lungs need to physically expand as you inhale, therefore the best position is sleeping on your back. Additional things to relieve air obstruction. Losing weight, especially belly fat, improves sleep quality. Losing weight, and specifically belly fat, unloads the lungs and diaphragm from the heavy weight of the fat. There is also a structural obstruction of air. The medical term is sleep apnea. Apnea means without breath. Major causes for a narrower airway are larger tongue, a depressed jaw, and also, again, a very large belly fat that stifles the lungs and the diaphragm. So if you have this condition, it will 100% reduce your sleep quality. It's a medical condition, so you need to check with your doctor if you suspect that you have it. Lesson number 5, as a summary. Make sure you have access to fresh air at night. Remove the obstruction to the airway. Both of these will improve sleep quality. That's it. We covered all the lessons, but I promise you the steps. So here it is, it's coming. The Wellness Messiah Guide. The 7 steps for high quality sleep. Are you ready for that? Step number 1. Sleep earlier in your sleep cycle. The fast recharge happens on the first part of sleep. Everyone is focused on how to wake up early, but sleeping early is truly the secret and is truly underrated. Go to bed 30 minutes before your regular sleeping routine, with your first yawn. And granted, it requires discipline, routine, and willingness to pay the price, but it will give you high quality sleep, a better mood, and allows you to even reduce your sleeping time, and actually to be able to wake up early, like you want. Step number 2. Avoiding meals near bed. The type and amount of food matters. You see, you want to limit protein, fats, and carbs 3 hours before bedtime. Vegetables are okay up to 1 hour before sleep, fresh or cooked. Corn, again, is not a vegetable. Salt and lemon juice are okay too, so if you want, you can put that on your salad. If you do eat protein, carb, or fatty food near bed, at least keep it as small as possible. Let your body digest it quickly and move the energy to the sleep system, right? So the plan B that if we do eat something, let's keep it as small as possible. Step number 3. Manage late evening drinks. In the evening, 3 things. Replace coffee and black tea with decaf coffee, decaf black tea, and herbal tea. 2. Be aware, drinking more than 1 glass of alcohol reduces sleep quality. For men, maybe 1.5 glasses or 2 glasses. And 3. Drinking alcohol is far away from sleep to allow your body to remove it. Step number 4. Pay attention to what you watch or talk about before bed. Avoid 1 hour before sleep. Keep your horror movies, criminal TV series, and the news away. Delay for tomorrow conversations about stressful topics. All of these activities, they alarm the safety radar into anxiety mode, and it's going to hurt your sleep quality. Now about work, stop work-related activities 2 hours before sleep. Allow your body to activate the sleep system and suppress the stress system. What do we do in the last hour before sleep? Inspiring and positive conversations, or you can choose content from comedy, inspiration, fantasy, either TV, YouTube, and books. Doing house chores as well, it's very good. It's tiring and unstimulating. Step number 5. Strong light or intense exercise every day. Give your internal clock a daily signal it is daytime. 30 minutes of strong light exposure or intense exercise are going to do the trick, but do at least one of those. Natural sunlight obviously is the best strong light, and in the winter you can use happy light. It's a strong LED light. This is my blue light evening protection checklist. We mentioned this today. After 10 p.m., use weak lamps or dimmer switches 3000K or less. Number 2, turn off blue light from the mobile or the tablet using the settings. And from your PC, use some programs such as the free Flux program. Alternatively, you can put the blue light blocking glasses on from 10 p.m. and do all of these activities without needing to pay attention to the blue light. If your sleep schedule is really messed up, then do a complete reset of the clock with 90 minutes of direct sunlight exposure on consecutive days, every day, to go and expose yourself to sunlight for 90 minutes. You want to keep a consistent sleep schedule, even if it means that you're going to feel a bit zombie for a few days. Step number 6. Reduce interruptions, flickering lights, and movements in your bed. To simplify this, let's cover the 3 senses. Seeing. Using an eye mask will prevent most light interruptions. Early sun, partner turning on the nearby lights. Also, use weak lights or nothing when waking up in the middle of the night. Hearing. If there are unexpected and uncontrollable noises during the night, you can consider earplugs. And feeling. Making sure that your bed area doesn't shake when your partner moves on the other side. So if it happens, consider changing beds or mattresses, maybe the size of mattresses, the quality of the mattress, to prevent this shakiness. Step number 7, and the last one. Quality air, easily breathed. 1. Sleep with an open window. If you can't, sometimes there is noise from the streets, from the outside, entering mosquitoes, then try to open the windows the hours before bedtime and close just before you go to sleep. Clean dust in your bedroom, carpets and surfaces. These will allow easier breathing, allowing your body to sink effortlessly into deep sleep. 3. Lose belly fat. Easier said than done, I know. I intend to make a video of how I help people over age 50 to lose belly fat without exercise. In the meantime, subscribe and put the notification bell on. 4. Rule out physical airflow obstruction. If you notice a consistent bad sleep quality, check with your doctor if you have a condition called sleep apnea. So these were the 7 steps. If you want me to create a free printable PDF with those steps organized, maybe you can print and hang somewhere, ask me in the comments. So here it is, the systems that will work together to give you high sleep quality. The automatic system, the safety system, and the inner clock. Can you imagine how these 3 systems will lead to the best sleep of your life? The battle stops. You no longer drag yourself out of bed. Waking up early becomes easy. You're in a positive mood every single day. You are your best self, productive, happy, and truly loving yourself and loving life. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, I invite you to come to check out the rest of the Wellness Messiah and to subscribe to see more videos like this. Any such video requires a large effort of accurate research and to compile information from our 15 years of metabolic research. We would appreciate donation on Patreon to help with the cost of production of these videos, the link to which you can find in the description. You can support the channel with as little as $1 contribution. However, simply subscribing to our YouTube channel for free is also a large help. Sleep deeply and wake up refreshed.